congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Incredible performance, I think. I feel like it's always a tricky one versus Spirit. Is that safe to say, like after the major?
Yeah, I think what I love the most about Spirit is that they have so much confidence. Doesn't matter who they play. It just feels like they just see player 1 to player 5. They have no respect, and you can feel that in the game. But obviously, I think experience played in a huge role here, and I think we did some good rotation, had clean communication, even though it's very chaotic to play Spirit sometimes.
And we all talked about the loss of Dexter for this team, of course. They're a big star. Did you feel the impact? Did you feel the absence of Dexter in this game, or for you, Wonderful did what he had to do?
Yeah, I think so. I believe that Dexter's was the stabilizer in Spirit. I think he could throw in that curveball or super aggressive opening, which I still think we have to wait and see how Wonderful will do it, because I didn't feel like Wonderful was creating a lot of chaos in the beginning of the rounds. So the later it gets in as an AWPer, it's harder it is to read the game, and the more impact I get to kind of figure out what the AWPer is, right? So I think Dexter was really good at creating those extra openings for Chopper.
In watching the game, there were a lot of wacky rounds, like rounds a lot that you actually were not supposed to win, right? Force buy rounds and whatnot. Do you think that also all comes down to the experience that you have an IGL over some of the members on that team?
Yeah, I think it's also part of the play style, right? Like I said, they play with no fear, and sometimes you can punish that with, I think on Ancient we did a very good flash, 1 flash, 5 Glocks, right?
Yeah.
And we knew they're going to play super aggressive, and I think that's what happens sometimes when you're playing very confident CS. You will lose some of these rounds, but then in the end you will also get a lot of different rounds. So I think it's also always you have to look at the bigger picture, and I think they really made the game hard for us, and I think that's what they can take away from the game today.
Is that a play style that suits you? When people play like this, like fearless, fast, duel-oriented, is that what you guys is cruise control for you?
Yeah, I think yes and no. I think when you're #1 team in the world, automatically you have this tag on your back, and there's 2 options. Either the enemies don't care you're #1, or they care about they're about to beat #1. And when we play Spirit and we play Ends, it just feels like they don't really care. It feels like they're the higher seed, and so the higher ranked team. And I think that's a very good play style, but it can also cost you games, and it'll win you games. It's the DNA, and I think they just have to keep playing like that, because they did really good at the major, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just now.
Also fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun to watch as hell. Now, I just wanted to ask you, in the grand scheme of things, we've talked together a couple of times in the last few weeks. You were not extremely happy with the level that you had then. I posed the idea that this was about performance management. You have to peak at the right time. Do you feel like you are on track and that you are finding your vibe whenever it matters the most now?
I think with the online cup, many people question mark on why we did that, and I think what we did, we were able to kind of improve our map pool and do it harder for ourselves by picking overpass, like played overpass 5 times, and that has been a map we were a little scared of sometimes in Veto, and now we're not. So I think coming to this tournament with a break now after qualifying, I think we can hit that 100%. So let's say we're at 85, 90, and I know we can squeeze out the last 10% during these days off and make sure we peak at the right moment. And yeah, in this year we peaked at the right tournaments, right? All the big 3 tournaments, we won those and kind of had a dip in form. And I think that's good for some of the young players to get that little slap in face that you cannot rest at the top. You have to keep improving. So yeah, I'm just trying to motivate the guys, but it has been a tough season for us.
Yeah, I was supposed to give like the last question before this, but I have one more, because you're going up versus Astralis, which is such a history-packed matchup for you specifically. Can you tell us a little bit about that match?
Yeah, I think in the end it's kind of on the Astralis brand. There's 2 players left on the original lineup, right? So they are on the right path right now. They needed something before the player break. I think that's one of those teams that needed a resurgence for the next season, and they did that. And by beating Cloud9 2-0, they definitely come in very hot, and we have to be aware and ready for the game, because when we played them in the semifinal online in this Rubik Cup, we had I think a 2-1 game, and if we need to be aware tomorrow that they might come with more confidence than we have seen before. Okay, lovely. We'll be looking forward to that. Congratulations on making it to Lanxess. It's going to be so exciting seeing karrigan and FaZe on that stage. But I'd love to know what's going on the B stream. Freya, do you have an update for us? Oh, never mind. It's just us. Okay. Vitality Mouse. My bad. So
Yeah, actually, Mouse, surprisingly, what do you think about Vitality struggling in this tournament so far, karrigan?
And don't be afraid to hurt
No,
my
Yeah.
no. I
You
think
can go
the
in.
key thing is here. Mouse finally beat a top 10 team with these young guys. They finally think they can beat a team and not almost beat a team. And I think Vitality is under pressure from Blast. Like they have to perform at the same level. They want to go, and in my opinion, they played lesser teams and haven't managed to live up to expectations so far when they met Movie Stars 2 times
Right.
and met Mouse now, right?
I have something that really scratches my head when it comes to Vitality, and I have an IGL next to me, and I'm going to ask the question. Across the course of their journey in Cologne, they've only won their map pick once out of 4. As an IGL, is that something that you can relate to? Can you imagine what's going on? Because on different maps, third maps, they seem fine, but the map pick seems to be very complicated. Is that something that you have ever experienced?
Well, I don't know. It's not. I haven't really stats of that. I think if you're trying to do a smart veto, it can hurt you. But when you go for your confident pick, you have to be able to convert. And you have to think about is if they always pick in the first map, then it's the first map a bit of free, and they have a bad start, or they lose every time second and can't recover. And maybe that's the reason why they lose their pick. I don't think they think about it unless they pick the same map 4 times and lose it 4 times. Then I think there's something changing.
Okay, we'll keep track of that. Now, really, thank you, karrigan, for that.
just keep him with us.
Yeah,
Yes.
there we go. Love to hear more from karrigan always. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, though, it's going to be G2